I'm having a hard time waking up still. I'm so glad you're here. I know it can be tough. These conventions are tough. Emotional grind, physical grind. But you are in for a treat today. We have a couple amazing ladies. And one reasonably good male speaking at the end today. I'll try not to taint your presentations. Let's get right to it. Our first speaker is a Black Status speaker, presenter. She has over 24,000 boss babes on her team. She joined Unique, I think like many of you, with no experience in direct sales. I'll let Megan tell the rest of her story, but so when they asked me to be a corporate sponsor, despite of my background playing sports, I'm really not a great team player. I don't collaborate very well. So I was like, fine, I'll be a corporate sponsor. Here's my list of presenters that I'm going to work with. And fortunately for me, they gave me pretty much all the ones that were on my list. So they were so easy to work with, so much enthusiasm, so much energy, and both of them exude energy. So I want to bring to the stage right now, for your viewing pleasure, Megan Dashley.
And I hear we have a birthday in the room, Joanne. We got a 40th birthday. Happy birthday. So, get your butts in the seats, and we're getting started. How many of you guys have ever thought of quitting, or even just questioned where you were in your business because of lack of support? Wow. How many of you guys have ever felt that mom guilt when working your business? It's real, and we're leaving it at the door today, okay? So, now how many of you guys are mind readers? Do we have any unicorns in here? Jeremy, you don't? You are no mind reader, my friend. Still mind reader. So, guess what? We're all humans, and we are not mind readers, okay? You're not a mind reader. Your spouses are not a mind reader. Your teammates are not a mind reader. Your kids are not a mind reader. None of us are. So we have to be willing to communicate, okay? There is no such thing as over-communication. So today, we are going to kick off, and I am going to give you guys the tools that you need in order to communicate better, involve the people that matter most in your life, and even work more effectively with your teams, as well as yourself. You guys ready? Sound good? So 90% of all disappointments start with unrealistic expectations, okay? I know personally, I am very OCD and I am a perfectionist, okay? And I load the dishwasher very differently than my husband does. Right? Anyone else? I have to reload the dishwasher after he has loaded it. Because my expectations of the dishwasher are very different from Jeremy's expectations of the dishwasher. Okay? And I can get really frustrated with him, which sometimes, if I'm very grumpy or I'm hangry, that does happen. But his expectations are different. The dishes aren't in the sink, that's all that matters to him. Mine is about structure and fitting as much in that dishwasher as possible, okay? So I have to communicate those things with Jeremy, okay?
Doesn't work.
Oh, it does work. It does. So if you do not communicate with the people around you, there's going to be a lot of frustration and a lot of disappointment. So communication is always going to be the key. We're going to start out with your spouses, okay? Do we have some spouses in here? Okay. Well, I know you. Okay, we do have a few. So take this. Communication is key, you guys. It comes from both sides. It comes from both partners. but also working together. Support shows up in different packages. It doesn't always look all wrapped up in pretty bows. It's not unicorns and rainbows. It could be anything from you helping with household stuff. It could be anything from just sharing posts of your spouse. It could be just you helping out with the kids. It could even just be sharing their posts. So it comes in all different shapes and forms. But when you're communicating with your spouse, do they understand what it is that you do? Okay? We are not just aimlessly scrolling Facebook. And if you are just aimlessly scrolling Facebook, you're not working effectively. Okay? Do they know why you do this? It's not just makeup. And I know when I first started, Jeremy thought it was just makeup. He thought I was just scrolling and trolling on Facebook, taking some selfies. And we know that it's more than that, right? It's a lot more than just makeup, and there's a lot that we do behind the scenes. Do your spouses know what it is that you actually do and why you do it? Do they know what your goals are? Do they know what you're aiming for? When I started this business, it was for my family. But he didn't know that because I wasn't communicating it to him. So there was a lot of room for frustration, a lot of room for resentment, and if you're not communicating, you're leaving the playing field wide open for all of that. Have you showed them how it works? I know we've got Y Dad here in the front of the room. You guys know Y Dad? Yes. He is a huge supporter of not only our Boss Babes team, but the company as a whole. He knows the back office. He has access to Jen's back office. I know we got Jesse here. He knows the business. Jeremy knows the business. Get your spouses involved in your business. Show them how it works. If they don't understand the comp plan, sit down with them. Explain it to the best of your knowledge. You don't have to know it all. None of us know all the answers, but you can tell them what you do know and get them in the support groups. Get them in the Hoy page. Let them ask questions with other men and significant others in the business so that they can understand what it is that we do and how it all works. So when I first started, Jeremy and I were working through a lot of stuff. He had insecurities, I had insecurities. So me being on my phone and him not understanding what it was that I was doing, it left a lot of room for him to say, what is she doing? Who's she talking to? What's going on? Is there someone else? It left a lot of room, and he was not on board with my business for a good 6 months, okay? And it wasn't until he realized that Unique gave me something that he couldn't, that he knew he either had to get on board or he was gonna lose me. Because this was the first time that he had ever seen this version of me. And he knew that I was too stubborn to let it go, because this set my soul on fire. So in the beginning, there was resentment. He did not like my business because it took away from him. He didn't like the business because he didn't understand it. So communicate with your spouses and get them involved, okay? Let them ask the questions and grow together. If you're not growing together, you're growing apart. And I love my husband with everything in this world, and I want to grow with him. I don't want him to be on the sidelines watching. I want him to be in the game with me, okay? And I want all the spouses in this room, all the significant others, the boyfriends, the girlfriends, whatever, I want you guys to be in the game with them. You can be in the game without being an actual presenter, but they love you and they need your support. So grow together, do vision boards together, talk about your goals, talk about what does your spouse want from this business. Do you guys want to be able to travel more? Do you guys want to be able to go on more date nights? Whatever it is, talk together about not only individual goals, but family goals, personal goals. What do they want out of this business too? Because it may be makeup, but it's a family business to me, okay? So a lot of, as I was like replaying all of this in my head, I thought of kind of what Derek said when he introduced Shalane yesterday. It wasn't that she changed, it was that she realized who she had been all along. And that's how I feel about this business. For a long time, I thought I was changing. I wasn't changing. I was becoming who I had always been, and I just didn't know it. And a lot of people around you, they're going to see it as change because they've never seen that version of you. They've never gotten to see that fighter. They've never gotten to see that hustle and that grit and that emotion, and they've never seen that fire in your eyes. But you have to communicate with them and let them know, this is me. This is the new, best version of me, and you're either on the train with me or I'm going ahead, okay? And I'm not saying you just like cut people out of your lives, but you're gonna find that there's people that they're here for a season. You're gonna take as much as you can and learn as much as you can from them during this season of your life, but then you may have to move on. And that's okay. It's nothing against them. It's nothing against you. You're just evolving and you're growing, and you want your spouse to be a part of that as well. And reevaluate often. My goals when I started are way different than my goals now. I started for money. I stayed for the family that I've created within our team. I am here because I want to change lives. I want to impact other people, and I want them to feel the fire that I feel about this business and what we're doing for the world. And you need to reevaluate that. Be in communication. Act with them often, okay? Reevaluate where you are, where you're going, and what you want. Now, these are my crazy hooligans. They are the reason I started this business. I could not fathom the thought of someone else raising my babies, someone else getting to see their first moments, and someone else getting to be there when I should have been there, okay? They are why I started. They are why I fight. They are why our team is BS1, because I am teaching all of our boss babes to fight for what we believe in and fight for who we started this business for. And I made mistakes in the beginning. And at times, I put my kids on the back burner. But I had to go through that to realize that they are the most important cornerstone in my business. They are the reason that I am so passionate about changing other lives. And even when they didn't want me to leave this week, they knew that mommy had to go help change other people's lives so that other mommies could be at home with their kids. I told myself I wouldn't cry, but anyone that follows me, you know I can't not cry. And just wait until my lives after convention when it all sinks in. That's when the real tears happen. So you gotta make this a family business. Okay, you've got to find ways that you can involve your children into your business. And this is gonna vary depending on the ages of your kids. If you've got a lot younger kids, obviously they can't help with packaging up products. They can't help you do lives, but there are plenty of ways that you can get them involved and just helping them understand what it is that you actually do. And if you don't have children, I'm sure at some point you are going to have teammates who do, and they're going to need you to be able to coach them through this too. So take what you learned today, and even if it doesn't apply to your business right now, use it to be able to coach and mentor the moms that do join your team. Manage their expectations. This is actually something that I recently learned from Erin Worry and Marina when I went to the first Top Earners Retreat. And she broke it down to us, and what she said was so simple, yet so powerful. Your kids don't need quantity of time. They need quality of time, okay? They don't need you all day long. They have small attention spans. So they want you, but they want all of you for that point in time. So when you are spending time with your kids and you've got your phone down, you're not working, give them all of you, okay? Not distracted you, not hold on, let me finish this message. Put the phone down and give them all of you. And I will tell you it is hard, and I struggle with this sometimes too, especially during our busy months. But when I manage their expectations, they know going into my busy months, that mommy's gonna be busy, okay? Our 20 and 30 months, are you guys familiar with our 20 and 30 cycle? Yeah? We're kind of getting into the gist of everything. My kids know before my 20 and 30 month that mommy is gonna be busy. Mommy isn't gonna have a lot of downtime. She's gonna be up early. She's gonna be working hard, and she can't do all the extra stuff. But I prepare them ahead of time. I manage their expectations, and I let them know what to expect going into it so that they're not surprised, okay? They know what to expect, and they also know what they get as a reward after it, okay? It does not have to be anything big, but human beings, by nature, we want to know what's in it for us. If you've never heard of WIFM, W-I-I-F-M, what's in it for me? Your teammates want to know what's in it for them. Your spouses want to know what's in it for them. And your kids, they want to know what's in it for them. So my kids know that after mommy's busy month, I'm going to be able to take them to football practice every single night. We're going to be able to go get ice cream. We're going to be able to go to the park. We're going to be able to do all these things. So whatever it is that your children want to do with you, that quality time that they crave, let them know what to expect ahead of time so that they're not caught off guard. And so there's going to be different seasons of your business where sometimes your busy months may look a little bit different, but let them know what to expect and give them something to be proud of. Recently, I saw a little quote on Facebook that I absolutely loved, and you want your kids to be proud to show you off to their friends, okay? You want them to be like, look at what a badass my mom is, okay? And that's what I want. I want my kids to not only know that I worked hard, but I did it for them. And I want them to be proud of all of my accomplishments. And most of all, before I close out this portion, the children's portion, you can be an amazing mom and a successful businesswoman. You can be an amazing wife and a successful businesswoman. You can be an amazing friend and a successful businesswoman. You can be an amazing daughter, sister. Fill in the blank. You can be an amazing husband for the spouses out here, okay? Fill in the blank, but you can have both. It's not either or. It's just about being able to manage the expectations, prepare, and communicate. Now, team, okay? How many of you guys have a team so far? Because I know we've got whites through blue. I've seen some greens in here too. We have greens? Okay. The culture of your team starts with you. When I started building a team, I knew what I wanted and I knew what I didn't want, okay? And I knew that I had to work hard to make sure to build that culture that I wanted in my business, because it starts with you. If you don't like the style or the leadership of your upline, if you don't have an upline, the culture starts with you. You get to create and you get to build that culture. And sometimes, kind of going back to what we mentioned before, you have to cut yourself off from some people and realize that that season of your life is over and it's time to move to the next chapter. And that involves straying away from negativity, okay? People are either adding to your life or they're taking away from your life. They're either adding value or they're sucking you dry, okay? And we do not have time for people to suck the life out of us. We have lives to change, right? We have families to change. We have women to empower, and men. And we do not have time for negativity, because negativity is a downward spiral. All it takes is one person to be negative, and then all of a sudden, everyone around them starts kind of picking up on it, right? You've probably seen that picture of the orange, the moldy orange, and all the oranges around them with time start to get moldy. All it takes is one moldy orange to ruin the bunch. You've got to stray away from negativity and build that community within your team with your core values. My team knows that my house is an open door. They can come hang out whenever they want if they're local. And it's not, oh, I gotta drop my kids off. Kids are welcome. Husbands are welcome. Spouses are welcome. Because this is a family business and that's a core value to me. Family comes first. I put my family on the back burner for too long in the beginning, and I don't want my teammates or any of you to make that same mistake. And empower your leaders to lead. The way that you run your team is the way that your leaders are going to follow suit, okay? Give them something to follow. And I just like this quote, a successful team is a group of many hands and one mind. If you have that core vision, everybody brings something amazing to the table, and it just strengthens that entire vision, because we are so much stronger as a team than we are as just one person. Our team is not just me. I didn't get to Black Status 1. Boss Mix got to Black Status 1. And lastly, this is probably my favorite, because this is like my own personal growth that I've been going through lately. When I ran for Black Status, I put my health on the back burner. When I ran for BS1, I put my health on the back burner. And I am starting to learn that I am the best version of myself when I'm taking care of myself. I can't be a good mom the way I want to when I'm not caring for myself. I can't be the best leader I need to be if I'm not caring for myself. I can't be the best wife. My hair messed up?
Yeah.
Where?
You're good. You got it.
Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I can't be the best version of me if I'm not caring for myself, okay? You have to make yourself a priority. You have to find what it is that fills your cup. And you need to make time for that every single day. We all get 24 hours in the day, same as Beyonce, same as J-Lo, okay? Same as Sherry Brown. We all get the same amount of time. And even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, even if it's just quick meditation, okay? I've been learning all kinds of new things. I got to experience meditation with Rob while we were at Top Earners Retreat both times. I've got to dabble in things. I've got to try yoga. And you have to find what works for you. I know Marta Miller loves to knit, okay? If you love to knit, do more of that. If you like to journal, do more of that. If you like to write music or play an instrument, find 5 to 10 minutes a day that you can fill your cup. Because you can't give from an empty cup. If you are not feeling whole and you're not filling your needs too, you have nothing left to give. Okay? And that's where you start getting, when your kids ask you something and you snap. That is because you haven't had the chance to fill your cup, so you've got nothing left to give, and you're like, go ask your dad. Mommy's not here right now. You have to fill your cup. And as you're filling your cup, I want you guys to envision you've got this glass, and you're pouring this pitcher of water into this glass. And you just keep pouring and pouring, and it overflows. As your cup is overflowing, it's filling other people's cups, okay? There's plenty of water to go around. You don't have to pour all that you've got from your cup. Just by filling your own cup, that overflow is going to impact everyone else. So you have to make yourself a priority, and you have to be your number one fan. You cannot rely on your upline to be your cheerleader all the time. They can't be there for you all the time, but you can. You get to set the tone when you wake up every morning. You get to say, okay, today's going to be the day. This is what I got to do. This is why I'm doing it, and we're going to kick some butt, okay? You have to be your number one fan. And on those days when you're just not feeling it, that's where you need to fake it, okay? That's where you need to be your biggest fan, even more than ever before, okay? And I know some people say fake it till you make it, fake it till you make it. The more you speak it, the more you say it, the more you start to believe it. And before you know it, that day that you thought was going to be horrible turns out to be an amazing day. And if you're paying attention, you may actually learn something about yourself from that experience. Do your personal development. And for me, honestly, I feel like my workouts are my personal development. Like, there's some days where I really, really need my soundtrack of champions. And then there's sometimes where I really, really need my workout. But you have to do something that fills your cup so that you can be the best version of yourself. And whether that is listening to Les Brown, whether it's Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, a YouTube collaboration, an Audible, reading an actual book, whatever it is, do it. Do more of it, because you need to continually strengthen your mind and believe in yourself enough to pick yourself up on those days when you don't want to. And you always, always, always have to remember why you're doing this business. So remember why you do what you do. Manage those expectations with those most important to you. Let them know what it's going to look like. Let them know what is in it for them. Let them know why you do what you do and show them what you do. Communicate often with those most important to you. Tell them your goals. I cannot stress enough communication, you guys. You have to communicate with everyone. I know there's plenty of times where so much can get lost in translation because someone assumed something and they didn't actually communicate. You have to communicate and find ways to involve the ones most important to you. And that is it, my friends. Mwah! I love you guys.